Hello, another night, another reveal, and about 30 minutes ago, Halloween Horror Nights 23 announced their next house, which is actually going to be called Afterlife, Death's Vengeance. Now, I want to bring this up real quick. Now, apparently, Dr. Jimmy said in his decryption of Silencio video that was put up yesterday that he would be revealing Flashback. Well, I thought Flashback was equaling out to Havoc 2, but apparently not. Flashback is all about Robert the Blade Galleta. So I want to talk about him real quick. So let's talk about where this starts from. So late this afternoon to early evening, we started getting these cryptic messages posted on the Twitter feed. And the Horror Nights updaters obviously posted stuff as well. It's like if anything is true after you are born, it is that one day you have to die. Some people firmly believe death is not the end of human existence. And then they started posting Johnny Cash lyrics. Like, there ain't no grave that can hold my body down. And of course, someone thought it'd be funny to say, we're getting an Undertaker house. Well, that's funny because Hollywood actually got an Undertaker house many, many, many moons ago. I'll talk about that later. Your actions in life determine what happens to you in the hereafter. In this all-new original house. Hashtag HHN Reveal Week. And then right before was the tweet that started everything building up to this midnight reveal. This place needed to be cut out. I painted that town red. Red, red. I would kill them all again. Carrie was mine. Sparky, light me up. Basically saying these were the last words of a man sentenced to death via Old Sparky, the electric chair. And of course, we threw out some more song lyrics. More Ain't No Grave to Hold My Body Down. And we finally got the final reveal right before midnight. Get ready to travel to the afterlife in 3D. So yes, this is officially a 3D house, and I want to talk about what I know about it. So let's read this verbatim as of the Horror Night, long day. Horror Nights Orlando Twitter feed said this: witness the brutal vengeance of his victims as they turn his afterlife into an inescapable hell. This fall, 2,000 volts of electricity are going to send serial killer Bobby the Blade Galleta into a horrific realm of suffering at Halloween Horror Nights 23 in this new original haunted house, Afterlife, Death's Vengeance. Well, here's what we know so far. So, I really gotta hand it to Mike Aiello, because he was on the Twitter feed like gangbusters, answering question upon question upon question. He even answered one of my questions. But I'll talk about that in a second. This is pretty much what we know so far. These are Mike Aiello's exact words. I wrote them verbatim here on a notepad. This is darker thematic than we've done with our 3D mazes in the past. You will go on Bobby's journey from 2,000 volts to where his victims had patiently waited. And apparently he listened to nothing but Johnny Cash as his soundtrack for creating this maze. And apparently it was a fun experience in creating it. This will be in the vein of the in-between, but it's going to be a whole lot more violent aesthetically. You will go from his execution to his out-of-body experience, which of course plays into the in-between using the ultraviolet and all the craziness, the lasers, demonic souls. And he mentions that actually. You will retrace the headlines he made while on a murderous rampage through Carrie. Yes, once again, talking about our favorite town in Ohio, Carrie, Ohio. So, yes, everything all builds up to Carrie, Ohio. And apparently, Bobby the Blade, or Robert the Blade, depending on what you want to call him, has a little bit of a back history in the town of Carrie, just like a lot of people throughout Halloween Horror Nights history have had. Says there will be some in-between homages, ultraviolet lasers, demonic souls, all wrapped up in a brand new pulp-type story. He's very excited about it. Going to be some extremely crazy imagery going on in this maze. And, you know, when I think Bobby the Blade, I think like 20s, 30s style gangster. And this was confirmed by Mike Aiello that the setting for this maze, at least in the beginning, is going to be the 1930s. But that's not the whole deal right there. That's just the start of the maze is going to be the 1930s. 1930s an opening setting. It's exactly what he said. So, apparently, this is also according to BehindTheThrills.com. This is another thing that was basically said, our actions in life determine what happens to you in the hereafter. That's the idea that Halloween Horror Nights in Orlando runs with in an all-new house, Afterlife, Death's Vengeance. The ghosts of a murderer's past have come back to haunt him after he's already dead. This is the darker take on a 3D house coming to Halloween Horror Nights 23, telling the story of Bobby the Blade Galleta, a vicious serial killer who was sentenced to death. But unfortunately for Bobby, death isn't the final resting place he thought it would be. There is a hell, his own personal one, and he's smack right dab in the middle of it. The maze, of course, takes place in Cary, and they will start at Bobby's end and get juiced up with 2,000 volts as he rides the lightning on Old Sparky. So, we'll go back to 2011, talk about the in-between. Of course, I was only able to go to last year's event was my first event, so I did not experience the in-between. I just know about it from what everybody says, and it was a pretty freaky experience. And I did go through Penn & Teller last year, and that also was a 3D house, but I know from what people tell me, it's definitely not the direction that the in-between was. That basically, Mike Aiello was saying that this is going to be more like the in-between. Not necessarily the same thing, but there are homages in it, so I do want to say that I just totally flubbed saying that Flashback was the Havoc Dogs of War sequel house that we're supposed to be getting. But it's funny. It's really funny. I thought this might be the house that would end up linking the Legendary Truth, and I know everybody thought that for a while as well. But it did not end up this way, and we have this fictitious character, Robert the Blade Galleta, and we're going to go into his afterlife. And this looks really interesting. I think this is actually going to be a really cool maze, and I'm very interested in seeing how they pull it off. Like I said on Twitter, and I think I'll just stick to this, it sounds kind of like Shutter Island meets Natural Born Killers. So you have the new school, like, serial killer, and you're going to see exactly, like, inside the mind of a serial killer. And, of course, we're going to see what his victims do to make him pay, even in the afterlife. So, even in the afterlife, there is no shelter for Bobby the Blade. So, this looks really interesting, and this is a completely original house, and everybody talks about they want original houses. They don't want as many IPs, and we got a lot of IPs still to come. But this right here sounds really intriguing, and I'm very interested in seeing it. Now, I'm going to guess it's going to go in the same sprung tent that Penn & Teller was in last year. Makes sense given the fact that they really don't have to do much. They could probably just put it the same effects in the same way like they did with the in-between as well. So I think this will go where Penn & Teller was last year, and I think that La Llorona will go where Alice Cooper was last year, as apparently it's been completely confirmed that the Walking Dead house is going in the Parade Building. Those three were the houses that were used for the annual pass holder preview event. I can't really call it a preview event. The annual pass holder event, they basically let you in a couple hours early. You got to do 3 houses and the first showing of Bill and Ted pretty much before most people even got into the park via the awesome security. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I will be at Halloween Horror Nights on the 20th and 27th, like I said in yesterday's video. Now, it says there's 2 reveals left, and I'm going to guess we're talking about the reveals of An American Werewolf in London and Resident Evil, and I don't know what that means for the Havoc sequel house. We're going to spring this on us at the last minute. It's possible, but it says there's 2 houses left to be revealed. I say we do American Werewolf in London midnight today, since it's after midnight now, or tomorrow, I guess you could say, midnight on Wednesday, entering into Thursday, and of course, we're going to have a video from the final reveal will be on Thursday night, and that should reveal everything, and then I can do a complete video talking about everything and what I think my expectations for the event are going to be. So once again, I want to thank everyone out there for watching these videos. Got a lot of new viewers and a lot of new subscribers out there for these Halloween Horror Nights looks in, and hopefully you guys and girls out there enjoyed them. Like I said, I'm not a horror guy, I never have been, but I'm trying to submerge myself into this, and I'm going to have myself an awesome time this year at Halloween Horror Nights 23. Way better than I did last year. I'm going to have a lot of electronics with me, but I'm also going to have an umbrella, a poncho, and that's going to basically keep me from getting absolutely drenched like I did last year in the deluge. That was my birthday hell last year. So that is our reveal. We are talking about Afterlife Death's Vengeance, and unlike the people on Twitter and Facebook and the Facebook page, I actually like this logo. It kind of reminds me a bit of like the Munsters font mixed with the Hollywood Drive-In Golf font, if that makes any sense at all. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I say joining me tomorrow, we will probably be revealing a little Bad Moon Rising, if you will. Maybe there's some balloons, and I don't know, maybe a werewolf or two, potentially. Maybe just one, but maybe one in the American Werewolf in London House, I believe, will be revealed tomorrow, and we'll end with Resident Evil on Thursday. So that's my prediction. So until tomorrow, boys and girls, thank you guys out there for watching. If you like these videos, tell your friends about them, leave a comment, do subscribe. I know I got a lot of comments in these videos. I thank each and every one of you out there for watching these videos. And oh, by the way, just a quick note that Dr. Jimmy is the reason I started doing this in the first place. Dr. Jimmy and the Tim Tracker are the reason I did this in the first place. So if you guys and girls out there get these videos out to Dr. Jimmy, I know it's amateur compared to everyone else, and I don't edit or anything like that, but Dr. Jimmy was my inspiration for doing this video, mainly, him and the Tim Tracker. So get Jimmy to watch this video and see what he thinks. So I am pretty sure I had Silencio before Mystic Freak did. Now, I'm almost positive I did, because I remember doing the video. I didn't post on a message board or forum. I did my YouTube video here on Pops, so there's always that. So, but then again, maybe a belated Smart Cookie Award? Potentially, Dr. Jimmy? We'll see what happens, and hopefully I'll see you at Halloween Horror Nights 23. Hopefully I'll see Tim and Jen at Halloween Horror Nights 23 as well. So, until tomorrow and our next midnight reveal, boys and girls, that's all I gotta say about that.